Okay, can you guys see the screen?
Yeah.
1 second. Hit share. There you go. That's going to work. Awesome. You can now see that first slide, yeah? All good. Awesome. All right, guys. So as I was saying, thank you, by the way. I'm glad that you could make it, and we're going to have an awesome session. And I believe this is going to add some value to you in your life, personal life, professional life, in your business, family life, all of that, right? And so yeah, as I was saying, I design these weekly sessions. So these actually happen every week, 12:30 to 1:15, and every week's a slightly different theme. And to add just more value, and so you walk away with an insight, so you can go and integrate the insight that you get, the learning from this experience, and integrate it into your daily life. Yeah, and yeah, when we start to think about productivity or supercharging our productivity, time and self-management, there are so many methodologies that are out there, and we hear a lot about time management, but actually it's it's difficult to manage time, right? It's just ticking along. And so what we can manage is obviously where we put our energy and focus and our self-management. From working with a lot of people now over the last few years, it seems that definitely when we start winning at our own self-management, time management just naturally gets better. Yeah. And so we're going to have a look at certain strategies. And as I said, you're going to have some reflective questions so you can just kind of deep dive in and get that insight or insights that you can take away. Yeah. So when we think about productivity and high performance, when I say high performance, I'm meaning in a way to get better at your life, better in your business, better everywhere, getting better at life. Productivity is definitely one of the core high performing habits. When we get this right, so when you get it right and you can move the needle in your professional and personal life and experience, this is really important, by the way, and experience greater time freedom to do more of what you love. Yeah. I see lots of patterns. Specifically, I work with a lot of business owners or people that are, they've got a lot of demand in their business that they work in, is they get so consumed in that thing that they don't actually have time freedom to do all the other stuff that they love. And that has an impact on energy management, as definitely has an impact on health and wellness, on relationships. So when we're starting to look at productivity, we're looking at the holistic side of productivity. Yeah. But let's be honest, you guys, same with me. There are days or weeks or months where we feel like we're getting a lot done. We're being really productive and we're managing ourselves much better. And then there are days, weeks, months, perhaps sometimes where we feel like we've wasted some time and we're not getting that much done, or we're not focusing on the needle moving activities task. Okay, so let's kind of push on. So this is kind of the big focus and what we're going to explore and what you'll learn today. Okay, so controlling where you spend time, kind of what I was just saying. So understand that while time itself can't be controlled, we can master where and how we kind of allocate our time, right? Our hours in the day to maximize full efficiency and being really effective. Building efficient systems. If you think about it, everything's a system in our personal life, in our professional life. Everything from the moment we wake up until we go to bed is a system. And so building efficient systems is definitely connected to feeling and having better productive results in our life. So we're going to kind of look at or learn how to design and implement systems, because you've definitely got systems in your life already that are working, and you might have systems in your life that are just not actually giving you productive payoff. And so we've got to look at building efficient systems. Harnessing the power of prioritization is a big one, obviously. So discover techniques to effectively prioritize your task, focus on what truly moves the needle in your professional and personal life. Okay. And then get yourself in optimal flow state. I think this is a really big one. So unlocking the secret to heightened productivity and satisfaction by harnessing the power of your flow state. So we're gonna definitely be speaking more about this. And when we're looking at high performance, or when you're performing better in your life, I bet that you're more engaged. There's more engagement in your life. Yeah. meaning less distraction. So time management tools, we'll do a little bit of this. I'm not going to spend too much time on this, but I've got a slide for it. And there are obviously great time management tools and strategies that can take us to the next level when we're looking at productivity and creating and maintaining productive routines. So this is kind of connected to systems, actually. So exploring how to establish routines that support your sustained over the long term. Again, I'm going to keep coming back to high performance because when we're thinking about high performance, we're talking about sustained but higher levels of performance over the long term, not just kind of small pockets of time. Okay, cool. So you guys actually, most of you know me or have worked with me, and so I don't need to go too much into this, but my background was tennis. I played tennis. I was coaching tennis for many years. So I was kind of around that high performing world, and I still love it. I played last week for the first time, and it took me about 4 days to recover from playing, but it was fun and it was awesome. I then went on to transition into, I built the House Yoga in London, which was an amazing 12 years. We still have the House Yoga, but we don't have the bricks and mortar business, but we still have the teacher training. And actually, Veronica, that's on the call right now, you're actually in one of the trainings. And it's amazing and it's awesome. And I've learned a lot about productivity when it comes to building these businesses. And I do a lot of high performance work now in businesses and life coaching. And it's a lot of fun and I love it. And like, yeah, of course, we need to talk about productivity. So we're going to actually do a fun exercise, you guys, to start with. And what's going to happen is we're going to do it for about 20 seconds. Okay, it's going to be a quick pit stop. And I want to bring these into these sessions because pit stops are really, really, really important when it comes to productivity and self-management. And actually, research shows that if we take regular pit stops in our busy working life, then our productivity elevates to about 20 or 30% more. So individually or as even as teams, right? So it's really, really important to commit to regular pit stops in your day. You might be doing a lot of this and doing great work, but we're going to have a quick go. So we need to stand up and we're going to do what we call breath of joy. Okay, if you've got a kind of, I don't know, an injury right now, you might want to skip this, but literally it's going to take 10 seconds. Okay, and I'm going to show you and then we'll do it together. Yeah, and it's going to be fun. If you're in your office at work and it kind of feels a bit weird, you can you can do something different. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to do 4 movements with our body. Yeah, you're standing still. There's not going to be moving around too much. So the movements are 1, 2, 3, and then 4 is I've got a really tight space here, but 4 is kind of down in a squat. Yeah, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then on the 4th one, as you go down, you definitely want to bend your knees, and it kind of feels like a squat. Yeah, so now we do these movements, but there's some breath work here. So it's inhale, 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 and then exhale. Okay, you ready? Let's have some fun. Just quickly, in, and then out. Inhale, inhale, inhale. You, by the way, you can do this sitting down as well if you want to. All right. And so breath of joy definitely creates more focus, better energy, meaning better productivity. Yeah. One more round. Awesome. Easy, simple. Actually, a client of mine last week reached out. He does a lot of fitness. He's in the gym 4 times a week. And he's a strong guy and he's a fit guy. And he shared that this was brilliant. And it's so simple, but really powerful. So breath of joy is amazing when it comes to elevating our productivity because our energy goes up, right? We actually improve our focus. All right, cool. So controlling where you spend your time. Time flows continuously, obviously, and it doesn't pause. And there's no way that we can control this, right? None of us can. It's relentless. Time is just moving. Yet your control lies in where, obviously, how you master your time and where you're putting your focus, your energy day to day. Because we can feel like we're really busy, but we're not actually being that productive, right? And so this definitely involves better strategic planning, better prioritization, and the result, the impact being greater productivity and and I believe greater fulfillment, meaning, greater satisfaction. So this is where you need to identify time suckers, time wasters. Yeah. So the things, and also maybe certain situations or environments, people that do waste and suck your energy, your time. All right. This is where you need to set clear priorities and invest your hours wisely for the greater impact, meaning the greater returns. And at the end of the day, look, what we choose to focus on and where we definitely choose to put our energy is actually what really matters. Because if you think about it, if we've got our busy careers, busy businesses, and then we go back to family life. And Teresa, if you can just bring in Jeanette, that would be awesome. And we want to, and we need energy for that, for those people as well, right? So if we're being more productive and winning here in the day, we start to notice that we've actually got greater energy for the other stuff that's going on in our life that's really important. Okay, so the reflective question here, this is where you need a bit of pen and paper, right? Is how would your day change, you guys, if you shifted from being reactive to being proactive about where and how you spend your time? Now, remember, you possibly winning in certain areas, in certain aspects of your life, but there's always something to improve. Yeah. So how would your day change if you shifted from being reactive to being proactive about where and how you spend your time? And what are the key areas you would focus on to maximize your productivity and personal fulfillment? Now, you don't need to share on this call. You can if you want. You can unmute if you get an insight and you want to share it, or you can put it in the chat, or you can certainly reach out to me after this and share your kind of insight you're learning from this question. And if you've got a question, if you want to share something here, this is a great opportunity to do it. This is what I love about these kind of group calls as well, group experiences, is that someone will say something and it'll be really relatable. I was on a call last night with a lot of guys, and someone was saying something really interesting and it landed for a lot of them. It's quite relatable. So feel free to share. How would your day change? How would your life change if you shifted from being reactive to being proactive about where and how you spend your time? Let's be honest.
If I was to put it out there, it would be to not see it selfishly, because it's actually not. It's actually for the betterment of everybody around you and your family. So, so breaking it down to, and I've tended to frame it in needing to do the classic, regularized gym visits, so to speak. But it's just as handy, and I've started to engage just short walks and something of that nature, and it just works.
I love it. Yeah.
You're actually on the move. You're elevating your heart rate, obviously, and I mean, I know it's being spoken about by numerous people, but it clears your head.
Clears your head, great. Yeah, we kind of, if we're thinking about products being more productive, we definitely want to come to a clear space, right, and not overwhelmed or stressed. So yeah, like I'm hearing there, Sean, of like actually a positive selfishness and spending time that will help you actually with, I guess, your energy, right, and your mood, that would actually allow you to be more productive. Yeah. I love it. Cool. All right, you guys.
And you're circulating the energy flow to back to your family, back to your clients, basically.
Exactly. Yeah. Really cool.
You're refreshing yourself.
Yeah, it's shared, right? I was on a call last night and I was sharing that, we share our stress. Stress is shared, but also a better energy and relaxation and positivity is also shared, right? And so they have an impact, positive or negative, on how productive we're actually being. Cool. I love it. Thank you. So building efficient systems is so important, right? As I was saying earlier, everything is a system. Sometimes the systems aren't efficient, or they're depleting our energy, or they're wasting time, or some systems are really simple but really powerful and they're working. Okay, so are your systems set up to be streamlined so that you get the results or getting results that you want without falling down the rabbit hole of stress, overwhelm, even burnout? Yeah. Your systems need to not only reduce wasted time, but also significantly enhance your overall productivity, enabling you to be more organized and efficient in the way you manage your daily task. So it's kind of looking at where do you actually notice, where can you get present to some bottlenecks or time wastage, suckage that's then you're identifying these gaps is actually the first step, right, in transforming your productivity. So the awareness of actually where are the bottlenecks here? Where are the areas where I'm not being so productive and I'm wasting a lot of energy or time on busy stuff? Because busy doesn't mean you're being productive, right? Consider the processes you follow daily. Which of these could be streamlined for better efficiency, right? And so here, I just want to show you. Let's go here. So the question on this one, think about a typical day. So think about your typical day. Where do you find yourself wasting the most time on repetitive or non-essential activities, tasks? How might addressing these insufficiencies or inefficiencies affect your day-to-day output and even your stress levels? So if you think about your typical day, you guys, are there any areas where you find yourself wasting the most amount of time on just stuff that's not moving the needle or moving you towards your greater outcome goals, your life vision? And then how might addressing these inefficiencies affect your day-to-day output?
I think it's what you must do a lot in your world, Jason, which is putting a lot more back on the client, because the perception is that you should be outputting to the client once they've engaged you. Whereas if you've done the preliminary calls correctly and the tasking and mini strategy and the list goes on, then actually that saves you an awful lot of time in the medium and long term. I've made that mistake where I'm actually, because I haven't qualified enough of, am I using their systems more than mine? Am I inputting more into their? But that's my biggest lesson, is if I can engage all their systems and just input into them, whether it be spreadsheets, databases, CRMs, the list goes on. Because I'd rather my output was in actually, which is my prime function, which is brand growth and sales.
Yeah.
I don't want to be wasting time.
Well, yeah, that's stuff. I got it. And so what's the impact for you? What's the impact right now for you?
The impact is that I'm getting there with almost as standard now. Anytime a new client comes along, I just say, look, I'm just going to put it. I just don't feel nervous or about just saying, right, I'm going to use as much of your accountancy package as I can. You've got to give me logins to everything, because otherwise I'm just duplicating by using assets of my own or templates and spreadsheets, which are just going to complicate matters in terms of communication. So,
and then the results, right? As you see the kind of future payoff if you get this.
Yeah, because they're already used to using those things, they just haven't used them to maximum effect. And all the add-ons that I'm populating that software with, which I know how to do because I've seen most of these systems. But there are universal systems, whether it be ease of example in accountancy, Xero, or I'm in, as you know, in the beverage and brewing industry, so we have specific software packages. I know how to manipulate the data on those in a good, or manipulates a dodgy way of putting it. Populate.
Change that word.
So yeah, very much so. Just speeds things up all around, and also makes the because I'm essentially a freelancer to a project normally, so therefore the in-house staff team feel less challenged and see me as less of a threat.
Impact. Yeah. So it's a bigger impact, right? So you kind of create the win-win scenario for all, I guess.
Yeah.
I love it. Thanks for sharing. Any of you guys remember, if you want to kind of just put in the chat or kind of just unmute and share what's coming up for you, or definitely post session, if you kind of do a little bit more kind of inquiry on these specific questions that are simple but powerful, feel free to kind of share your insights with me. I'd love that. So
I was just going to say, Jason, on that, if you don't mind me sharing, just like to the point you mentioned earlier about like how would it impact you being less reactive? Like, I don't know if it's the same for everyone here, but when I've had a good productive day, I just feel better, feel more confident. And I think I take that into the evening when I go home and see the family. So I think it gives you a lot of confidence to feel good as well that you've had a productive day versus maybe you've procrastinated or not done what you needed to do, and then you feel a bit like low in yourself.
I love that. I think that's a great insight and a good share. Yeah, kind of that ripples into like your own inner landscape of, okay, you feel, I'm hearing that you feel more confident, right, about yourself or what's playing out in your work day, and then you go home, and I would imagine if you're feeling more confident, you tend to be feeling more relaxed, and I'm sure that impacts others around you, Ben, which is great.
And you're not chasing your tail as much, right? You're not having to like respond to emails or make up for the work that you should have done in the daytime. And I think to Sean's point earlier, like for me, a lot of poor time management comes down to the fact that we're not being selfish and that we're maybe helping others or getting involved in conversations on desk for me at work, for example, when really I should just be putting my head down and working. I think that's the biggest thing for me, just like those distractions. I think removing the distractions is the key for me.
Yeah, it's a big one for most, right? Like courage comes in, and like learning, we talked about this before, right, Ben, when you were kind of going through a lot of this process of your own work and coaching, is actually just learning to say no more often, and being a positive selfishness is ends up being a win for everyone, but it's challenging, but there is a payoff in a good way. Cool. Awesome. Let's shift gears because there's a lot to get through here. So harnessing the power of prioritization. So are you doing more of your life's work, or are you caught up in just being busy, right? And so I've definitely fallen down this kind of rabbit hole a few times, definitely just being really busy but not being smart, or working really hard and thinking I'm being really busy but not actually that productive and connected more to my life's work, which is what we're talking about here, is feeling more fulfilled in the stuff that brings more joy. And it's definitely time to reflect on your current task priorities, the methods that you've currently got. Are you consistently focusing on what truly advances your life goals? Because we've all got our life goals, right? Or are minor tasks, and this is kind of what Ben was just talking about, and other people's agendas consuming your best hours or your best work? This plays out a lot for many people. So identifying the common pitfalls in your prioritization strategy is crucial for realigning your efforts towards what generally matters, what really, really matters to you, and what brings you more joy. Yeah. All right, let's kind of move on here. So, reflective question, you guys. Consider your most recent work week. So if you can backtrack the last week, or maybe just go out a little bit further. What tasks did you prioritize that didn't effectively contribute to your larger goals, be it personal or professional goals? And how, if you were to reevaluate your priorities, or how might reevaluating your priorities enhance your effectiveness and satisfaction, joy in your professional or personal life? So what did you prioritize that didn't actually effectively contribute to kind of those future goals, or your vision of your life, right? Be it personal or professional. And how could you kind of reevaluate? What comes up for you here? Or it could be, hey, actually, over the last few weeks or last few months, I kind of feel that where I'm putting my focus and energy and what I'm prioritizing is aligning to the vision of my life or our life.
Yeah.
I think a big one for me is the phone, like, because one of my goals is to be present, and phone is just so dangerous for me. Whenever it's there, I'm kind of like twitching to go near it. So I literally have to move it somewhere that's nowhere near me. It's very addictive.
Yeah, it really is, Ben. I know you shared this openly before, right? And let's be honest. I think the average person spends 3 to 4 hours on their phone, right, a day, and a lot of that is swamped in social media or stuff that's this is this is the stuff we're talking about. There's the distractions that pulls our energy and focus away. And what's the strategy then? So do you put your phone? And we've talked about this before, right? You kind of have to put it in literally in a different room or somewhere that it's just out of your focus.
Yeah. And I think for me, like in my office now, I work on the first floor. We've also got an office on the 5th floor. I'll go and put my phone in my jacket on the 5th floor. So it means I have to literally go to the 5th floor to get it. But at home, it's a bit more challenging. If I could like bury it in the garden somewhere, I'd probably do that.
Hide it in your wife's jacket or something, or yeah.
Yeah.
I've got a little box in this room, and like the strategy, and I definitely it works is to put the phone in the box when it's focus time, right? When we need to dial into really deep work, focus work, is the same for me. Like what Ben's sharing is really relatable. Is just to get out of this, to get the distraction away. Is the phone for sure. And I think we all have different distractions, but for a lot of people this tends to be the big one. What about any of you other guys? Hey Jeanette, I didn't see you there, sorry. Thanks for joining.
Hi there, how you doing?
I'm good, thank you. Okay.
Yeah, good, thanks. And yeah, I would agree, the phone is a major distraction at times. And I mean, I have to have the phone next to me because that's how people communicate, but I will switch it over or switch off notifications as well, so that I haven't got constant messages flashing up on the screen all the time.
I love it. Yeah, that's one good strategy, right? It's just to take out the notifications, because you're right, we kind of need it. It's in our proximity, but yeah, doing the things that could actually, just not have such negative impact on our energy and focus. And yeah, the notifications is a good one. Good work. All right, you guys, let's move this on. The prioritization matrix. I think this is really simple and it's really powerful. And the top left box and the bottom right box, from what I see, is where the stress and the overwhelm and the distraction tends to play out. Top left, bottom right. So top left meaning urgent and important. So do first. So this is tasks that require immediate attention, but it is going to happen, and for everyone, right, at certain times, and has significant consequences. E.g., so a meeting deadline, or you're in a meeting and something else comes up. You're dealing with a certain crisis, maybe, or other people's agendas, and we tend to. This is where overwhelm and stress and just that feeling of distraction tends to play out, and frustration, and what I call below the line experiences. Yeah, it pauses away from real focus and great productivity. Then the bottom right, urgent but not important. So delegation is great. I think that's amazing for productivity. So tasks that demand immediate attention but do not significantly contribute to your longer term goals. E.g., some emails, most meetings. I think from here, a lot of clients that I work with, we start looking at being really smart here with certain email time. So you got to email. I know it's part of our professional life, but certain times. So it's not just random. It's focused, i.e., okay, from 11 till 12 today, it's just email time. Or from 5 till 6 p.m., that time is blocked out for emails. Yeah, or it's delegation. And I think delegation is a really powerful strategy when it comes to what we're talking about. So actually what we're looking here is, so obviously bottom left is, so neither urgent or important. So you kind of eliminate activities that offer little or no value that can be eliminated, meaning watching. So we're talking about social media, right? And phone or excessive TV watching. I'm not saying don't do that. I do that. We do that. But it's like, can you minimize certain stuff where your energy and focus can go up to the top right, important but not urgent, but it's scheduled. But this is where we need to spend more time. You know, we talk about the 80-20 rule, is we want to spend more time top right, which is tasks, activities that are important for long-term goals, long-term in fulfillment, vision, but do not require immediate action, e.g. planning, relationship building. But we actually want to spend a lot of time up there in the right, if that makes sense, right? So how's this playing out for you? Like, I've actually got something here that I want to share with you. And there's so many different methodologies, as I said right at the beginning of this call, right? How is this playing out for you? Let's not jump into optimal flow state yet. So, all right, think about this, you guys. Think about some task right now. So maybe 2-3 tasks. The current task or responsibilities in your life, be it personal or professional, yeah? And then can you categorize the tasks that you choose into the appropriate quadrants? Top left, top right, bottom right. Where would you put them? Or if you're going to elevate and improve your productivity, time, self-management, where are they, or where could they go? And I invite you to share on this one. What's your kind of rationale behind where you categorize them, where you put them? Remember, top left, bottom right is where stress, overwhelm, frustration, below the line experiences, distraction tend to play out. And greater fulfillment, joy, higher energy levels seem to be up top right. It's block time, it's scheduled time, it's important stuff. You know that's the focus that's going to move things forwards for you. How is this playing out for you? Are you spending a big percentage of time up top left, or are you winning top right? Are you delegating really well? Are you actually eliminating or reducing certain stuff that just not actually going to have you winning when it comes to productivity?
I think one of the things I do is the task I least want to do that day, I do that first and get that out of the way.
Interesting.
Because it might be a difficult conversation or just a task that I don't like doing. And I'll find every excuse in the book not to do it. So if it's important and it has to be done, then I'll get it out of the way. And then I know that everything else I'm doing that day, I either find enjoyable or is something that isn't going to cause me any anxiety or anything like that.
Got it. I really like this, Jeanette, actually. And what I'm hearing is that it sounds like it becomes a must for you. You must do it. So it's a commitment. You do it, and it frees you up.
Yeah.
Keeps you away from overthinking about it, or it drains your energy. Is that right?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And I've kind of scheduled my week. So I've got a virtual PA that I delegate a lot of stuff to, But I schedule my week with the start of the week as things like meetings and organizational, operational stuff, so that Kimmy knows what she's got to do for the rest of the week. And then hopefully from Wednesday, Thursday and Friday, I'm top right. I'm working on the stuff, the strategy, and sort of thinking about things as opposed to just doing all the time.
Yeah. And I guess you get more you slow down there, but actually get more creative and have more impact.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I love it. Really cool. Thanks for sharing that. Yeah, it's really interesting. Gonna start actually seeing how it really is showing up for you, or maybe even others around you, right? People that you're working with, and
definitely.
I wanted to show you this one. Okay, so get yourself in an optimal flow state. I think this is really, really important. I think my holistic background as well, a lot of yoga in my life, and yeah, it's I think we get into our optimal flow state in so many different ways. But when we look at high performance and when you're performing best at your life, you will definitely notice a pattern that there's greater engagement in the moment. You're more present, you're more awake, you're less reactive, you're just more present, because we are definitely better at our life when we're more present. But that's not easy to be present with what's going on out there in the world, right? So but we all, the good news is we all have access to flow state, and it has such a huge impact on our productivity. Meaning some of the payoffs, right, include motivation, definitely momentum and motivation are the same. I see those as the same. So when we've got motivation, or when we've got momentum, we're motivated, we feel empowered, we get this what I call drishti, we're laser focused, we're relaxed, as I was saying, we're present, our energy goes up, our performance gets better, we feel happier and more vibrant. That's how powerful the flow state is. And we access it in so many different ways. Meaning, like this morning, so for me, I know I'm more productive in my life when my first half an hour is that, going back to what Sean was saying, it's a selfishness, but it's positive. And I get into a flow state, whether that's I meditate, I do some breath work, I move, I have a fitness exercise session. There's something there that gives me access to my flow state. Yeah. And so this definitely has a positive impact for sure. Oh, I think I've gone fast forward here. So yeah, I just wanted to kind of bring this up and see how you feel about this, and where you're experiencing a flow state, or where you're not, and where you'd like to experience more flow state. I go for a walk every day. Sean, you live close to me. There's a park near us, right? And it's an amazing park. And I walk through that park every single day because I know it gives me access to flow state. And when I'm not here, I'll do it somewhere else.
Yeah, so I think it's consistency as well. In terms of like you say, you've got your quadruple program there of, all matrix, or I don't mean to use fancy language, but you're combining, as you've explained, breathing with meditation, with yoga, with walking. I think if I can nail those four, I'll be getting to genuinely engaging positively flow state. Not there yet.
Yeah. There are certain ways, right, Sean, and everyone. There's certain ways how there's many, many different ways. It could be that actually, we have these rituals and systems in place that give us access to a greater flow state, meaning our energy's better, our focus is better, we're in the flow, we're moving away from the other stuff, meaning frustration or distraction and stress and overwhelm. That's not flow state, that's the other way. So when you hear the words flow state, what comes to mind? When you hear that phrase flow state, what comes to mind for you? And when you feel most in flow, what are you doing? Like, where are you? What are you doing when you feel most in flow?
I'm client facing, in my natural zone, which is making the product happen in the operating space.
Okay,
that all makes sense. because I look after beverage brands, as you know, so I'm continually looking for having to stay on the pace of the omni-channel approach to who those. So you can only be out in the arena doing that. So any time I'm in the office, even if it's 10% of the week, I feel bad about that.
Do you feel you internally feel bad, or you feel bad for them and the thing?
I feel that I need to. I don't want to be unrealistic, but I need that other 5% out there.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Okay. Well, this is, just having this conversation, and I said, hopefully this will give you some value and some insight around this, because I know, and when we start looking at greater performance in our life, it is flow state has to come into the conversation. Yeah. And so when you feel like you're in flow, okay, so when you're out there and it's having that positive impact, not just for you and your business, but with your clients.
Yeah, sorry. I was just thinking, if you don't mind me using the example of one of the best I ever did, where it was an international brand build, but the reason it was so rewarding is because we really did one of the best launch timelines I've ever done, and the reason, it's just because we all agreed at total transparency to how that was going to happen. Everybody was fully engaged for 6 to 8 weeks.
I love it. There you go.
Yeah. Launch timelines, you feel somebody of the team's disappeared or something else.
I love what you just said there, and you guys, what Sean said is around. You had full engagement for 6 to 8 weeks. Everyone was on board. Everyone was aligned. Then you create a flow state within the team, within the organization, and it's hard to get that. But when that lands and when that plays out, you get kind of magic happens and great results show up. Yeah. So so we're talking about flow state individually, but also actually expanding flow state out into the bigger kind of picture. And we just better results, better impact. All right, you guys, we're kind of getting close to 1:15, and we want to be productive with the time and our time management here. So I just want to share last little bits here. So utilizing time management tools. I want to quickly go through this. So modern productivity definitely demands modern solutions. So utilizing advanced tools and technologies is crucial for efficient time and self-management. There's so much stuff happening now, obviously, that's enhancing all of this. AI is mind-blowing. I'm not a techie person. I'm learning, ChatGPT, there's certain stuff that's amazing for me in my business for that, for time efficiency, for creativity. There's so many different ways, and I'm sure you've got stuff that is working for you. Time management software, calendar apps, focus enhancers, AI assistants, all that stuff. ChatGPT, there's a lot of negativity around it, but it is game changing. It is mind blowing, and the efficiency and the productivity that it can have for individuals or teams or organizations is pretty powerful. We know that, right? So kind of want to just share this. I don't know if anyone wants to ask a question or share anything here or something that's working, and then we can kind of move on to the last slide.
Well, I'm just interested to do a speed share on, because again, within those 4 points, there's so many of those that I've used before, particularly and not the AI, of course, because that's in development and is new. Well, some of us are massively ahead on that. I'm probably behind on that particularly, but the focus enhancers, like to drill down on that a bit more. What does that mean?
Yeah, to start tracking and just to start seeing where are the distractions, and to kind of elevate focus and concentration, because we are coming when we're talking about productivity, a big part of that is focus and energy. Yeah, and noticing where is that going day to day. So yeah, just kind of wanted to bring that in. It's a bigger conversation. We could be talking, for days about this. And let's kind of skip that bit into here. Reflective question. This is, I'd say, go away and work on this. Again, come back to me if you want to ask any questions or share your insights. So with the variety of time management tools available, which specific tool do you think could revolutionize your daily productivity, your career, your business, your side hustle maybe, And what is the first step you would take to integrate it into your routine? What could that be for you, maybe your team, in your personal life, whatever that is? Yeah. So just for example, so someone introduced me to ChatGPT last year, and I was kind of like, or even the year before, 18 months ago, and I was like, really? And then I started doing some due diligence. It's like, wow, actually, this is pretty cool. Then I got the paid one, and you know, so for example, if I want to do a newsletter or send out, I was with a client last week, and we were looking at a legal report for him. Literally, we got the framework of that legal report in 5 minutes. Could have taken his team days to do that, or externally. So, and we got the framework for that, and it kind of just speeded up the whole process. So it is powerful in many different ways. Okay, just quickly on this one. So creating and maintaining productive routines. So if you want to experience long-term success over the long term, right, and sustain high performance, here's how you can create and uphold effective routines. So morning rituals. Start your day with a routine that uplifts and energizes and focuses you, such as meditation, cold water therapy, walking, exercise, or reading, or whatever works for you. Consistent morning rituals set a positive tone and prime you for the productive day ahead. So win the morning, win the day. Yeah, is definitely massive when it comes to productivity. Focus block time. So, you know, looking at your days when you've kind of got maybe higher energy, or where you've got to really go deep, work, focus, and go up to that top right in the matrix, where you structure your day, like Jeanette was saying, right? She kind of gets that thing done in the morning so she can free herself up and feel better and less anxious about stuff. Sounds like you block that time out for that, Jeanette.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so block time is great. Focus time. Pit stops. Pit stops are a no-brainer and a non-negotiable. You gotta set some pit stops up, multiple actually, during the day. So for example, you work for, say, 50 minutes, and then you'll take a break for 5 minutes, rather than just head down, working for hours and hours. Productivity drops, energy drops, frustration comes in. That doesn't work. That's kind of old school way of productivity, right? So breaking stuff up, taking time, just go for a little walk, take 5 breaths, walk up the stairs, just simple stuff that you can have a little pit stop, right? A breath of joy that we did earlier. So pit stops are really important. End of day journaling reviews. So you kind of just celebrating the win of the day, something that you're proud about, what could be better tomorrow, tracking your progress, all great for maintaining productive routines. Weekly planning, monthly planning, you know, something that I kind of suggest is like, you might already be doing this Sunday nights. You take half an hour, 20 minutes, and you just plan a great week ahead. What does that look like? Where does your time need to go? What would productivity look like? Or if you're going to have a really, really productive week, what needs to be planned ahead? These are all great routines and strategies. Cool. All right. So by integrating these structured routines into your daily and weekly schedule, you will elevate your productivity, ensure continuous improvement, and maintain peak performance for the long haul. We're talking about long term here, yeah? Great. All right, you guys, listen. So there's one more question. Go away and explore this. And I kind of want to get, just quickly before we come off this call, is what's your insight? What's your learning? Something that's been said, something that you said or someone else said that's really landed for you and you're going to take it away. What is that?
Just that.
What's that?
Prioritization.
Oh, big. Okay, great.
So I think, was it Jeanette that was saying about her getting those things done that block us first 10 minutes of the day?
Yeah, it's great. Simple but powerful. Just getting it done. Jeanette was saying she gets it done, it's out of the way, she can then focus on the better stuff and come away from that, not overthink it, right, Jeanette, and focus on the actual important stuff. It's great. Simple, but it's powerful. Whereas, you know, we can easily go the other way and just procrastinate on it and think about it all day, and it sucks our energy. Right? We end up doing it late at night at 10 o'clock on the laptop on the couch or something like that. Yeah. Doesn't work. It just doesn't work. So last question, reflect on your current daily and weekly routines. What one change can you make to your routines this week that could significantly, or this month, that can significantly enhance your productivity and align more closely with your work or your personal goals? Yeah, I would love you to go away and kind of just work on this, on all the questions. Okay, it's pretty, it's a pretty speedy process, this one. So you might want to go back to them. You'll get the slides. You can share the slides, Tanya, right? Teresa, will you be able to share, or you'll share the recording anyway? Yeah. All right, you guys, awesome. Anyone else want to quickly share? So for Seth, for Sean, it's prioritization seems like it's key for you, which is, I love that, Sean. I'll be reaching out to you this week, see how that's going. Anyone else? What's the one thing that's landed for you?
I think for me, it's working out like what not to do and what are the things that are gonna take me away from the core tasks. So for me, it's phone, being okay with saying no to people, like especially when I'm in an office environment, and just like trying my best to be completely immersed, especially like first thing in the morning. So we've talked about that work block, which is like setting a work block from 8 till 10 and just being like fully immersed in those hours, and then maybe giving myself like a little reward after, like, I don't know, cup of tea and a biscuit or something like that.
Yeah, the win and the reward is great. It's a great strategy, like or achieve and reward. It keeps you more interested and motivated, and it keeps you in the game for sure. How is that going, by the way? Just you feel like you're
not great, if I'm being honest. I think I've been quite distracted recently. I think I'm operating a lot in that top left box, like fighting fires a lot, which is cool because it's kind of my job. Like I've got to kind of be on alert because I'm in a job which requires me to respond to requests from customers and stuff. But I think it's just about making sure I'm doing that and not doing other stuff that is not important. And then also scheduling the important stuff. So for me, that's things like going to the gym, making sure that I'm present for family time, making sure I'm doing like business development calls that are maybe not urgent but are important.
Yeah, and you got it right. It's common sense for you. You got it. You know what to do. That's the crazy thing for a lot of us. For most people, know what to do, but it's common sense. But is it the common practice, right? And just by the way, just acknowledge yourself. I'm sure you're being productive in your life, right? There are winning scenarios for you, but it's looking at how can I become even more productive, conserve my energy, and spend more time on the stuff that I love and brings me joy without getting swamped in, massive to-do list and just in the busyness of life, because that's not being productive a lot of the time. Cool. You guys have been great. I really appreciate your time. Go and have a productive rest of the day and week. Yeah. Share your insights. Come back to me if you can access me on LinkedIn or wherever you've got my details. I'd love to hear any further insights. And yeah, I really appreciate your time. Thank you.